Hi, this is Leela Vist at 88pianokeys.me. Excuse me, on the air and clearing my throat here. I'm excited because I have a wonderful return guest. Andrea West is her name, and she's a graphic designer and totally into marketing, and I can't wait for you to hear what she's going to share with us today. I just have to show you a little bit of what I've done with her recital program designs. If you haven't seen those yet, check them out. But here's my program, the front part of it. Can you all see that? And then here is my back part of my program. I have my students sitting at tables and families sitting at tables. So I thought, oh, it'd be fun for them to doodle and maybe have something to color. So Andrea created this for me for the back side of my program. So excited to share those. And then going along with my program, I always give out trophies to my students. And so I went to Crown Awards, and they could personalize or customize my trophies. And so I have Andrea's graphic design right in there for my Bella Festival. Bella is my piano upstairs, and I always have a recital in honor of Bella. All right, now we are on to not just spring, but now on to summer. And Andrea is going to help you learn how to create wonderful marketing materials for your summer program. So Andrea, without further ado, let's have you show us what you have in store for us. Welcome.
Oh, and thank you for having me again, Leela. Okay. It's fun to be able to share some marketing and design tips with people. We're all getting ready to start our summer camps and our summer lessons. We're all looking to increase enrollment. So you need a marketing piece to help you do that. And so whether you want to call it a brochure or a flyer, you want to put something together that's exciting. Your students are really your sales team. You want to present them with something that's going to get them excited. They go running home saying, Mama, sign me up for piano camp. So I'm going to show you how to put one of those together, and it goes pretty quick if you've gotten all your copy written ahead of time, and that's usually what I do. So I'm going to show you right now. I'll share my screen with you and show you how I put this together. There, you should all be able to see my screen. And like I said, when I'm putting this together, I'll cover a few points, and one of them is having everything written ahead of time. It's so much easier. All right, the first thing you want to do is go to page layout, go to margins, custom margins. When you get here, you want to make sure that you put it a book fold and 4 pages. And the reason it's 4 panels. It's just one piece of paper that we're going to fold in half, but you want to make sure that you have 4 panels. Up here, this is your margins, and they make them really big. They default to a larger size. So 0.3 is plenty of space for printing. So I'm going to push all of those down to 0.3. You don't have to do anything with the gutter. That's the distance in the middle here, and you really don't need to do anything at all with that. Click OK, and let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is insert the art that you downloaded from Leela's website. So I'm going to go to Insert and Picture. And sometimes it's easiest when you download something just to download it to your desktop so that you can find it later. There's nothing worse than digging around in all your files trying to figure out where you put it. All right, that was easy. We put in our cover art. The next thing you want to do is put a title in here. So we're going to hit Insert and a text box. And I just choose a simple text box. And right here, you're going to put your title. So I'm just going to say, make a splash this summer. All right. Now you can highlight that and go back to the home screen and pick a typeface. This is where you can kind of have fun with your typefaces and pick something that you like. I think I'll go with teen today. And make sure you pick a size that looks like it's going to fill it up pretty nicely. I'll go with 26, and we'll give that a try. I'm going to drag this out to the edges, and I'm going to come up here to the format and shape outline, and I'm going to remove the outline. I also want to make sure that my text is centered, and I still want it to come all the way out to the edges. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to just grab it and drag it down, and there you have it, kind of a nice little title. I can even things up a little bit by just shortening that up. There you go. Another way to do that is you could insert a shape. There we go. And this time I'm going to insert just a little rectangle right there. And if you download the Color Cop tool, which is really handy to use, you can use the little eyedropper to pick out the color you want. So I'm going to pick out that purple, and it shows you the RGB numbers right there. So if I click on this and shape fill and more fill colors and custom colors, I can get that exact same purple by taking those numbers over here. So I'm going to put all of those numbers in here. And now I have a shape that's exactly the same color as this. I can take off that outline too once again. All right, then I'm going to go back to Insert in a text box, another simple one. And I'm just going to drag that into my shape. And I think here we'll just put piano lessons and camps. All right, and obviously you can put anything, your own branding in here. So if you have a particular name for your camp or something like that, put that in there, name of your studio. I'm going to make that just a little bit bigger. Now on this one, I want to get rid of the fill on there so that I'm just looking at my background. And once again, I want to make sure that my type can be seen, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick white. Sometimes you have to do that twice. There we go. All right, and there you have your cover. You can do some fun things if you want. I'll show you really quickly that if you want to insert a shape, there's all kinds of different shapes. So maybe I want to pick one that looks like a water drop. And if I hold the Shift key while I drag that, it will make a perfect shape for me. Once again, I can grab this Color Cop and pick the color of my splash and fill that. Oops, I meant to say with a custom color. And I'm going to go ahead and put that sort of turquoise drop there. 183. And hit OK. Now I have a kind of a cute little drop there that I can put something, maybe I want to put registration open in there. I can easily insert another text box. And roll now. Just drag that down. Put it in there. Once again, I need to get rid of the fill so that I don't have that. I want to get rid of the outline. And there we go. I might even want to make that white so that it stands out a little bit bigger. All right. There you have your cover. You can make sure that your cursor's down here and insert a page break. And we have page 2. So as I said before, it's really easier if you've already written your content so that at this point all you're doing is designing. So I have my content already written. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it and paste it into my document. My title, I've got my dates, I've got the days that I'm going to be teaching camps. Now, because we want this to be really fun looking and exciting looking, you could just do the whole thing in straight copy like this. But if you put it into shapes, I think it looks a little bit nicer and makes it look a little more exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a rectangle. I'm inserting a shape. Doesn't matter what size, I can adjust it later. I'll leave the fill empty. And I will give it the same outline I just used. The recent colors are always there, so I think I'll go with that same turquoise. Now I can make those, by clicking on weight, I can make that a lot bigger. So now I have kind of a nice thick border. And now I'm going to insert another text box. And this is where I'm going to put my information on my first camp. If something happens like that just did, I just hit the undo button and I get rid of it. All right. My first camp is my duet and trio camp. And all I'm doing is copying and pasting the information. With a Control-C, I can copy it, and with a Control-V, I can paste it. I can pull it out to the width of my box, and I can change the size of that box later. if I feel like I needed more room. And it kind of looked like I did because I ran out of room on that one. So I'm just going to pull that down. I have all my information. There's my first camp. If I click on it and select it and use my down arrow key, I can move it down just a little bit and kind of readjust where it's positioned. I could get rid of that black outline there that I had on the text box, but I kind of like it, so I think I'll leave it. All right, now I need another one, so I'm going to just select the one I've already done, Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it, so I know it's exactly the same size. I'm going to insert another text box. Always pick the simple text box. If the text box, for some reason, moves your artwork around, just come up to Text Wrap and make sure it says in front of text. All right, next, in case people just want to take a private lesson this summer and not do a whole camp. There's my private lesson information. Once again, I'll just pull that around. And I just can click on these. And there we go. That page is done. We're on to the next page. You can see how quickly this gets put together. Now, because these are shapes and it's not text, when I insert my next text, my page break, don't let that freak you out that everything moved over. I'm just going to select them all. I'm going to click on that one, hold my Shift key, click on my text box, click on that outline, click on that text box, Control X to cut it. I'll come right back over here and Control V to paste it. And once again, I can move all of these just by using my down arrow key to reposition them. And if I just want to reposition now the bottom one, I'll select both of them by holding the Shift key and use my down arrow key just to move it to a better spot. Perfect. Now I'm on to this page over here. All right, I want the same text boxes. So, and the same borders, Control C, Control V. This makes it so much easier that I don't have to redraw them each time. I'm going to insert another text box right there. And again, I've already written my information. I certainly want to encourage new students. There's my new student information. And again, you can fill this with any information that you want. You might have more camps. And you can adjust, like you've seen me do the screen sizes of each of these so that it'll exactly fit your artwork in your copy. So I'm just going to put, I've got another screenshot there, or I'm sorry, another box. I'm going to offer a little freebie piano party. So I'll insert one more text box. And it always seems to put it in a strange spot, but you just have to grab it and bring it down. There's my piano party. And you would probably want to adjust these so that they all come out exactly the same distance. All right, I'm going to put one more box down here with a Control C and a Control V. I'll insert one final text box. And you can put as many of these on your page as you would want. All right, then I got to tell people how to schedule because that's really important. I want them to know exactly how to sign up for my camp. All right, the last page I'm going to use will be for the registration form. I want to have something that they can cut out and send back to me with their student. They can actually just take a picture of it. You want to make sure you keep these in multiples of 4 pages. So again, I'm going to say insert, and I'm going to put in a page break. Once again, it moved everything over, but I'm not going to let that worry me. I'm going to click on each item while I hold the Shift key. And I'm just going to cut it with a Control X and come back over here, Control V. And I can readjust that. These are a little, you can see they're not quite lined up, but if I click on each one of these with holding the Shift key, I can align those by going to the format and hit the align left. And then I've just matched everything up really nicely on the left side. All right. Final page is my registration form. And again, I have written that out ahead of time so that I've got all the information I need. So I'll just Control C and Control V and put it there. Now, it'd be kind of nice to have little lines that come after the student name and all this information so that parents can have a place to put it in. So if you hit Insert and again go to a shape, grab the line tool. Now you can see I can control that line, but if I hit the Shift key, it will be absolutely straight. Then I can come up here and pick what color I can pick if I want it to be just a bit thicker. And I've got my first line, and rather than redraw those each time, I would simply select it, Control C, Control V, and then grab a hold of that shape. Sometimes it's hard to grab them, and put it where you want it. And I can just keep hitting Control V and keep getting more and more lines. Control V, there's another one. So I've got all my lines. And once again, if I select all of them by holding the Shift key and go up here to Format and Align, I can align them all on the left so I know they're all lined up in the same place. I haven't lined them up very well this way. You could take your time and line each of those up. Again, I would do the same thing for my where you attend. I'd put lines here. Which camp are you going to do the private piano lessons, or are you going to do the duet camp? Are you going to do both? All of those I would put, simply just put lines in those. All right, so now I want to know which weeks they want to attend the camps. Again, copy and paste. Now for this next part, because I want to put columns of dates in here, the easiest thing to do is come up to Insert. In a table, I know I have 3 months, June, July, and August, and I've got 4 weeks in each that I'll be teaching. So I'll go ahead and insert a table, which makes it really easy. Then I can just put my dates in here. Just to give you a quick example, there's my June. I'll come over here. July 5 and 6. Over here is August 1, 2, and 3. And I can just fill this in. Now, if I don't want those lines to show, I can select that table and right-click on it. And I can adjust those cells however I want. I can also come up here to the home screen and click on this button saying no border. And I've just gotten rid of the border. So you see the outline, but it won't print. So that's a nice way to do tables for things that have columns of information. All right, I'm going to put the rest of my information out there. All right, and here's days you could attend. I would probably put this in a table too, so that it all sits in here real nicely. Insert, throw a table in there. This time I just need 3. I can Control X to cut each of these out and put it real nicely into my table. And again, I can get rid of the outline around there just by coming up here and saying no border. The last thing you'd want to do is I like to reiterate my my policies. So I'm going to take each of those policies right there. I'm going to go ahead and tab it. So I move it in, and then I'm just going to create a little box here where they can check it off by going Insert, Shape, a Square, and if I hold my Shift key, I can keep that perfectly straight. I did forget to tab that one over. So I'll move that in. Maybe I don't want that shape to be filled with something quite so dark, but maybe I want a real light gray in there. I don't mind the outline. And once I have one box, again, I'll select it, Control C, Control V. And I can just line up all my boxes, Control V once more, Control V once more. And if I select all of them and hold them down with the Shift key, I can line them up on the left so they're nice and straight. The final thing you probably want to do is make sure that you've given them contact information so they know exactly how to sign up. So don't forget to put that in. And if you've run out of room, you can back these up just a little bit. There, and I've gotten everything off that page. And there you have it. That probably took us 15 minutes to put that together. Obviously, the work is in writing everything up ahead of time. But at the end of the day, you have a really nice piece here that you can send home with your students so they're excited about camp and get mom and dad on board. It's always nice to have extra copies of this at the recital so that when people come and they've got guests, they'll pick up some extra copies and fill it out. And that really is it. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. I'm not sure if I was successful doing that.
Yes, you are. Thank you, Andrea. There's a couple of things that I thought of right away. First of all, you have a free template that offers a lot of this structure already, correct? And I think we've already offered it at the blog. So we'll make sure that people know about that. And is the color cop available for Mac users as well?
I think it would be available for anyone, but to tell you the truth, I don't use Mac, so I don't know.
Okay. So I will check into that because I was wishing I had a color cop the other day. And what do you say to people when they say, oh, so much ink, it's so expensive? I think color is so important and the look and design is so important. Do you have anything to say about that?
There's no question color ink is going to be more expensive. Typically, it's actually cheaper if you take it to a printer rather than use your own printer where you have to then replace all those ink cartridges. So typically, it is less expensive to take it out, but you can do these easily on your own printer at home if you want. And I think that does help generate excitement. I had a kiddo come in this week whose friend had been there before, and she runs through the door and says, "Can I see the catalog?" I wasn't really sure. I'm the catalog. She goes, "With the summer camps." I'm like, okay, it did the job. She thinks it's a catalog,
I love it. Summer camp catalog. Oh, that's brilliant. Not a pamphlet, not a brochure, not a flyer, but a catalog.
It was a catalog.
Nice. Well, and there's a couple other things that are my best friends when I'm doing exactly what you're doing, and they are using those little arrows, to shift things over just a little bit. It's so much easier than using your mouse. And then on Macs, it's Command C and Command V for copy and paste. And then, I wish I would have known about Command Z a long time ago because, if I made a mistake, I didn't think I could correct it. And it's just so easy to do that Command Z for anything that any of those mistakes.
Exactly. The other thing I probably should have said is make sure you save your work along the way.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Because it's happened to all of us where you lose your work somewhere. And even though it didn't take very long to put that together, it's always disappointing when you've lost it. So hit save.
Correct. And another question, just because I'm always curious, what does text wrap mean? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
There are two different layers. So if you put your text on top of something, it's going to be directly on top. But sometimes you want it to wrap around a shape. So you might put a shape up there and then you want the text to actually go around that shape. Mm-hmm. So you could put a piano and then you could put a text box. And if you wrapped it around it, it would put the text all the way around the piano. So It's another option that some people like to do.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The one other thing, and then maybe you want to talk about this too, is I think you had an easy way to do some kind of social marketing graphics. So if you want to share that, that'd be great. But I was just going to share that, how I amplified your design with my trophy and with my program for the recital. I'm going to be offering binders. So I'm going to be using one of your designs for the front of my binder. And then, if people are really adventuresome, they'd make great t-shirts. I think we've already talked about somebody using your design for a recital t-shirt. And then, water bottles would be a great idea.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's always hot during the summer. So 3 ideas right away that we could use with your designs.
Oh, exactly. And if you want to take a minute, I'd be happy to show you how to create a social media design.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Okay. We'll do this really fast here. Or not if I can't figure out how to open it. Let me see.
Okay.
I think I would have to have this open first. All right. You know what? I don't think I can figure it out. Oh, there we go. All right.
Got it.
If you open up, again, it's online, it's free. It's called Pixlr, Pixlr. And you open an image from your computer. So you're going to go back to where you downloaded your art, and you're going to open it up. And there's my picture. Now, if you go to image and you look at the image size, you'll see this is a huge file. And ideally, you want to be at 600 pixels for Facebook. So I'm going to take that first number and move it to 600. Now, this one's only at 927, but that's okay. We'll make that adjustment, but you want to make sure you constrain those proportions. Click OK. Let me get rid of that color cop. All right. So you can see now I have my shape here. It looks really small. I'll zoom in just a little bit so you can see better. If I take this marquee tool right here, and if you'll kind of look over here, you'll see the size of this. I know it's 600 wide, so I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to run this up until I can get the bottom number, the height, at right about the same. Sometimes it's hard to get on. There we go. Close enough. All right. I'm going to say Edit and Cut. I've just cut that out. Now I'm going to go File, New Image. This is my summer camp Facebook for Facebook. And you can see I have all the widths there. That's fine. All right. And now I'm going to say Edit, Paste. I'll move it aside so you can see it. So now we have this perfect 600 pixel by 600 pixel image that we can put on Facebook. You can come over here to the text tool. And if you just click on there, it opens up the text box, and I'm just going to say Summer Piano Camp. All right, you can choose any style you want. They have all sorts of typefaces here, so you can pick anything that you might like. And you can change the size right there. I made that a little too big. And if you want a different color, if you click on it, once again, you get the eyedropper tool. I think I'll make it something a little darker than that, and click OK. And then you can just grab that and move it wherever you want and click OK. And you can continue to add, I could add an Enroll Now button if I want. When you're all done with that, if you just put File and Save, there you go. It's a JPEG. I can save it wherever I want, and now it's perfect to put on Facebook. And you can't use all kinds of files. You can certainly use a JPEG, and you can use a PNG on Facebook. What's nice about these is they are JPEGs. It's not like a PDF that you can't put on Facebook. So that's it in a nutshell, and then just save it wherever you want. So that's pretty easy.
It is. Andrea, what's the name of that program again?
It's Pixlr, Pixlr.com.
Okay. I use something similar called Canva, and I can upload your graphics to Canva, and then they have the correct size for Facebook. That's 600 by 600 square. And then I can do the same thing and add type to it as well. But it's interesting. I haven't seen the Pixlr.com, so that's a good thing to know about as well. I think you have a little bit more control over things versus Canva. So excellent. Let's see. Anything else? There's a couple of things that I just think was brilliant. Calling your students the sales team. That is so true. I was just thinking about that. I mean, your best source for referrals to your studio are your current students.
Absolutely.
And I like that word, being the sales team, and getting them excited. And then the other tip about writing your copy before you start designing. Great idea. Just, yeah. And then having extras of those at your recitals. Another great idea. So I think we're going to wrap it up. And thanks so much again, Andrea. This is fantastic. You've shared so many wonderful things. You are brilliant when it comes to graphic designing and creating wonderful promotional products for us. So thanks again, Andrea. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.